Greetings, kindred. Wow, it's so good to be back. So, as most of you know, I've taken a break from social media for a while. I just needed to rest and recuperate, and I feel I've done that. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for those of you that have reached out with your lovely messages and your lovely emails. It really has been appreciated, and it's kind of given me a lot of inspiration as well. I didn't think I could get back into this, to be honest. When you take time out of something, you kind of forget how to go with it. But here I am. And yeah, I'm a little bit last minute with this because I was actually planning on doing this video yesterday, but unfortunately I forgot I had an appointment, and so I'm doing it today. But our full moon isn't until tomorrow. So today I'm recording this on the 15th. And yeah, so I hope it will still be of help to you all. I'm sure it will be. So let's get started. So the full moon will reach its peak on the 16th of April at 19:55 in the GMT time zone and at 14:55 in the EDT time zone. Now the full moon will reach its peak on the 17th of April at 4:55 in the AEDT time zone. So let's take a look here. So just expand this a bit so we can see it better. Just bear with me. Okay. So our full moon will actually be at 32 degrees in Virgo. So coming towards the last degrees of Virgo, really. Well, not really, because Virgo's 45, 46 degrees. So yeah, we've still got a way to go. Yeah, so in opposition to our sun, as the moon is always at a full moon, our sun will be at 34 degrees in Pisces, conjunct the goddess Pallas. Now, this is really like creative imagination. So this is fantastic for manifestation, but because it's in opposition to our full moon, it can be, we have to be careful what we're wishing for. We have to be careful of what we're manifesting, because the moon in Virgo can be over exacting, over detailed. And because Mercury here, which is all about the mind, all about communication, is in conjunction to Uranus in Aries, which is quite a fast-paced energy, our minds can be a little bit all over the place. And in Aries, it can be like maybe not so much, I wouldn't say negative thinking, but maybe feeling a little bit guilty about creating manifestations for ourselves. Do you know what I mean? And, because Aries and Aquarius, and Mars, the ruler of Aries, is in Aquarius at the moment, it can make us feel, like I said, a little bit guilty for thinking about manifesting things for ourselves, because those star signs are really all about other people. So there could be a lot of concerns with humanity or our societies that we live in, especially with the nodes here in a T-square formation towards Saturn and the goddess Vesta, that are both in Capricorn at the moment. So we may feel pressure to think more about humanitarian causes than we are our own kind of creative vision. Or it could be that our heads are all over the place and we can't really focus on manifestation in, a clear way, I should say. And, like I said, Virgo is could be very criticizing. Maybe we feel we don't deserve, maybe we feel we need to put in a lot of hard work to like manifest our creative visualizations. But then, you know, our sun and the goddess Pallas is sitting on top of a kite aspect. Now, like I've said before, kites can be a little bit all over the place, but this kite is actually, it holds a lot of positivity. You know, if we can get the balance right, which is not going to be easy, you know, because this, the body of the kite, which is the grand trine, is with the goddess Ceres, who's in Taurus, in trine to Saturn and the goddess Vesta in Capricorn, and in trine to the moon in Virgo. So maybe we feel we need to put a lot of work in, or we know to bring our creative visualizations into practice, into the physical realms, that it will take some time. It will take, you know, a little bit of hard work. And I think that's more to do with our focus, to be honest. So positive affirmations, meditation, although it's going to be hard to meditate because we kind of go off into la la land a little bit as well with this erratic energy. You know, it's hard to stabilize our visualizations. It's hard to like feel positive about our visualizations. Do you know what I mean? So, but there's great opportunities here. If we can come to terms with the fact that our manifestations may take some time to actually come into a more practical sense, then I think we're on the right path. Now also, you know, so as much as we've got Mercury conjunct Uranus here, and then we've got the Sun conjunct the goddess Pallas in Pisces, we've also got this Jupiter and Neptune conjunction still going on. Now Jupiter and Neptune came into an exact conjunction on the 12th of April at 1 degree in Pisces. So, you know, I would say since then that our heads have been a little bit all over the place. This conjunction only takes place every 13 years. And it is highly spiritual, but it can really take us off planet. But I would say, you know, with our sun and the goddess Pallas and with Jupiter and Neptune, our manifestations are actually very, very powerful right now. And I think I've already said it, but we have to be careful what we're wishing for, because we can tend to be a little bit more on the negative with the moon in Virgo. And maybe there's things that we need to let go of in our lives, you know, especially it being a full moon, because a full moon is an ending of a cycle. It's also a time where we wrap things up, you know, before we come into the new moon's energy. So we have about 2 weeks really to like wrap things up. But, you know, Virgo is also the sign of hard work. Capricorn is the sign of hard work. So maybe we need to take some time out to rest a little bit, you know, to flow with these energies if we possibly can, and try and stay in that positive frame of mind. You know, these energies here are actually very, very creative and, like I said, powerful for manifesting. But we do have Chiron here in Pisces sitting in the middle of these two conjunctions. So if we haven't dealt with our emotional wounds, or we're going through emotional stuff at the moment, it may be hard to keep our minds focused on the positive side of life. Do you know what I mean? And Saturn conjunct the goddess Vesta. Wow. You know, that can be being dedicated to hard work. you know, and this is where I had to learn my lesson this year, because for the last 7 years, no matter what I've gone through, I've still thrown myself into my work. And, you know, but that stopped me from dealing with all my emotional stuff. That stopped me dealing with, you know, all the dramas that have happened in my life over the last 7 years. And I think this year, you know, last year I was going through a Saturn return. I came out of that and went straight into a Jupiter return. And wow, the Jupiter return was like the grand finale to the last 7 years. And basically, Jupiter just took me off my feet and said, right, you're not listening to the universe. We're taking everything away from you. So you will take that step back and, you know, get the healing that you need. So Jupiter's basically clearing my path and saying to me, right, before I can bring in abundance, you need to rest, you need to relax, you need to take time out for yourself. And, you know, it got to that point where I had to listen. So this is what, you know, as a collective, we need to be aware of. You know, hard work is necessary for the times that we're in right now, you know, especially with this T-square with nodes against Saturn and the goddess Vesta, because to me, this is like a battle of wills going on in society, you know, and this is also all about the divisions that are being created in society. It's a bit, you know, Saturn in Capricorn can be a little bit, you know, self-centered but authoritative when it comes to organizations, you know what I mean? Or authority or the military. So, you know, 23 degrees, again, that breaks down to 5, which is a very shifting energy. And yeah, but Vesta at 7 degrees, that's more spiritual, but it can be, I say delusional, in the respect that we're not recognizing, you know, maybe we're overworking ourselves. So, you know, when it comes to the practicalities of life, we know that we've got to keep on the ball, but we also know that we have to flow with the energies sometimes, because mistakes can be made if we don't, you know what I mean? But, you know, overall, I feel this kite is actually very positive. It's offering us a lot, you know, especially when it comes to self-nurture. So we mustn't feel guilty if we are taking time out. We mustn't feel guilty about that. I mean, I know at the new moon, I felt really guilty about not putting out a podcast because I'd already missed the previous full moon. And, you know, but I just couldn't do it. I was actually sick with flu. And I thought, you know what? It's still not time. And if I force it, I've already learnt my lessons in forcing myself to get up and do something that I'm not well enough to do. Do you know what I mean? So I really do think we need to listen to our instincts and not feel guilty about taking the time out just to like daydream or get into our heads, because we are, like I said, with this Uranus Mercury conjunction, we're very much in our heads at the moment. And like Aries is like the defender of the underdog. Mars, the ruler of Aries, is in Aquarius conjunct Juno. So this is all about humanitarian values and traditional values, and Venus is there as well, which is all about our joy in life. It's all about our financial and our creative like values. So, you know, there's a lot going on in this world at the moment, and you know, that may be why we feel we can't relax right now. We can't think positively right now. Not for everyone, because there's those of us that have complete and utter faith that everything's going to play out and be good at the end of the day. But then there's those of us that you know, are not so comfortable with the situation going on right now. Now, you know, our moon in this kite aspect, you know, with the Sun conjunct Pallas, are actually in square to Pluto. So this can create, again, a lot of absent-mindedness, do you know what I mean? Or obsession about the details. Because Virgo is all about detail. And Pluto can be quite obsessive in his thinking. But again, you know, like Pluto is at 32 degrees, the moon is at 32 degrees, so shifting. And I just feel this is because of this aspect here with Mercury and Uranus, like, you know, our minds are just a little bit all over the place. And maybe that's why we're finding it hard to manifest, because we can get into that negative state of mind as well with the Piscean energy. Because remember, the Pisces energy is very strong in positivity and negativity. You know what I mean? It's the two fish that are swimming in opposite directions, and you know, this conjunction can actually take us a little bit off planet, and this conjunction with Neptune and Jupiter can take us off planet as well. So I think there's a lot going on around the head area at the moment for a lot of people. You know, there may be some headaches involved, there may be buzzing in the ears or ringing in the ears, or it might be hard to just, you know, maintain focus right now. But, you know, don't feel guilty about it. You know, I feel there's a lot going on behind the scenes. There's a lot of information that is still coming out. There's still a lot of negativity in our media. There's still a lot of negativity when it comes to groups of people and division and stuff like that. You know, but there may be people out there as well that are isolating themselves. Do you know what I mean? And they're isolating themselves. They may feel a bit angry about things, or, you know, not happy with the way things are going, or maybe their opportunities haven't come in at a good time, because, you know, this T-square can also be about, you know, things not happening in good timing, you know. Well, actually, not that T-square, this one here. Even my head's all over the place right now. The nodes in forming this T-square towards Saturn and the goddess Vesta. So, you know, we have two T-squares here. I mean, this one with the moon and sun is connected to this kite aspect. So we can tend to go a little bit obsessive in our manifestations, maybe in more a negative sense, because we're trying to manifest like too much detail. You know, I think what we need to do if we're manifesting at the moment is just think of something really lovely, you know, pull it out to the universe and let it go. Let it do its thing. Don't get obsessed with the detail, you know, of whatever that manifestation is. Don't get obsessed with the detail, and just let it play out as you imagined it. And even if it's impractical, or you think, you know, it's impossible to bring into the real world, you know, then maybe just be a little bit more realistic with your manifestations. But remember, anything we're manifesting right now is coming in stronger, and it's coming in bigger because of this Neptune-Jupiter conjunction, because of this Pallas conjunct Sun, and because of this Mercury conjunct Uranus. So, you know, these three aspects really can be very erratic or a little bit out there. But like I said, just put your manifestation out to the universe. Be careful what you're thinking. Be careful of what you're wishing for. positive daily affirmations are a must right now. I don't think maybe we could do meditations right now. Some will definitely be in a meditative mode. But anyone with Aries, a strong Aries in their chart, or a strong Aquarius in their chart, may find it hard to keep still, to focus on meditation. So in that respect, I would just say, you know, just try and stay in that positive frame of mind, you know. And the collective energy is still very, very pressured at the moment. You know, there's still a lot of information that's very conflictive, and you know, resources are a bit of a worry at the moment. But you know, the black moon here, she's not in opposition or a complete conjunction to any other planet. So I would say, you know, just go with the flow right now, and enjoy your dream time, you know. And yeah, just seeing if there's anything else here I want to discuss. I think I've covered most of this, yeah. So this is really all about dream time. It's all about manifestation. It's all about positive thinking, you know, getting in tune to our spirituality, you know. Yeah, I think we're going to see some people kind of like really come out of their shell when it comes to their spirituality, whether it's on a religious level or, you know, just, well, yeah, on a religious level or even a creative level. So some ideas may be coming out that are a little bit out there or a little bit beyond, you know, realistic, you know, in a practical way. But I think, you know, with the moon in Virgo, there is that sense of knowing, you know. And I think because of the timing is out of sync at the moment, we may be aware that, you know, we're not ready to bring in that manifestation right now, or that manifestation it's not possible to bring it in right now. But that's why I said give it to the universe and let it come in its own time. So this is all about timing as well, especially with the nodes. You know, and this T-square with the nodes and Saturn has been going on for a little while. But, you know, if we're dedicated to what we're doing right now, as long as it's creative, you know, I think that's okay. But like I said, don't overwork yourselves, don't overwork your mind. Just let it flow. Just let it flow for the moment. So we do have Mercury going into pre-shadow on the 26th of April. Now, I'm not going to bring up the chart wheel for that right now because I'm going to do a separate video or article on that because I want to cover the pre-shadow. I want to cover the actual retrograde itself and the post-shadow. Now, I've been kind of looking at the Mercury retrograde a little bit, and that's why I want to do all three phases of the Mercury retrograde as one article or one video, because I feel this particular Mercury retrograde is going to be important. I may not do it in video because I may want to say things that might be a little bit out there, you know, to put into video format. I might do it as an article, but I will definitely let you know when I release that if I don't do a video. So, you know, I will also be doing a video on the updates of what's going on with the True Lifetime Astrology system, because I have told you before that I'm going to start classes in the summer around about the solstice, and I will be putting out a video about the updates. You know, me and Astro App have got together and we're going to expand on the True Lifetime Sky Chart Wheel, we're going to start adding some interpretations in and making it more accessible to others, you know, especially other astrologers that want to follow this system, or other people that are just interested in this system. So, you know, watch out for updates. It's going to take time to set up. There's a lot of work involved. And as you know, my laptop crashed in February, my original laptop, and I lost a lot of work. So I'm having to redo it all. And same with my oracle card interpretations. I lost all those, and I'm having to redo those as well. So it's going to be a busy few months for me. And, but you know, these things happen, you know what I mean? So the pre-shadow, like I said, will start on the 26th of April, just after midnight here in the GMT time zone. So in the AEDT time zone, it will be on the 26th as well. But in the EDT time zone, it may be, oh no, I got that wrong actually. In the EDT, and yeah, in all the time zones that I talk about here, it will actually be on the 26th of April. So, and Mercury retrograde will actually begin on the 10th of May when he actually goes into his full retrograde mode. But like I've said to you many, many times, the pre-shadow and the post-shadow are just as important as the retrograde itself. And I will be doing a separate article or video about that. But Pluto, we've also got Pluto going into retrograde. So I just want to bring up that chart. Just bear with me. As you can see, I still haven't done tutorials on my video, on the new video program. So Pluto will go into retrograde on the 29th of April. So it'll be the 30th of April in the AEDT time zone. But again, it'll be on the 29th in the EDT. So in the USA, it will be the 29th. In Australia, it will be on the 30th that Pluto goes into retrograde. Now, Pluto's in quite a lot of positive aspects with other planets as it goes into retrograde mode. Now, I do want to mention that, you know, my partner, Eric Seligson from the Siderealist.com, he did do an article on Pluto in Sagittarius quite some time ago. I would really recommend you go and read that article there. You know, if you go to his main menu and look for an article to do with Pluto, it isn't called Pluto in Sagittarius, it's called Pluto, I can't remember now. If I remember, I will actually link that article below, but that's definitely worth reading, because when Pluto is in forward motion in Sagittarius, it can be hidden truths, you know, truths that are not really in the light. The truths are in the dark. But in retrograde, it's like we're coming into self-truth. It's like more exposing in retrograde. So at 32 degrees, breaking down to 5 again, yeah, there's a shift here. And the only negative aspects I'm seeing here with the Pluto retrograde is this square to the moon, who will be in Pisces at the Pluto retrograde at 35 degrees, conjunct the goddess Pallas, who will be at 0 degrees in Aries. So whatever we're coming to terms with, because at the full moon with the sun and the goddess Pallas in Pisces conjunct, it is helping us to see things on a conscious level, but we may not want to accept it on an emotional level, or it might be too unfocused to actually get a grips with. Do you know what I mean? But by the time Pluto goes into retrograde, yeah, we're really coming to terms big time with our emotions and the reality of what we're seeing. whether that's in our personal situations or with the global situation. And Pallas will actually be at 0 degrees in Aries. So, yeah, I kind of would watch out for that. Like I said, Aries is the fighter for the underdog, but he's also, you know, he's a very self-focused energy as well. He can be, but he's very will-powered. He's very strong in his status or protecting other people. Do you know what I mean? So our sun will actually be at 10 degrees in Aries by this point. So yeah, big happy birthday to all my 13 star sign Aries out there. It's coming up for your birthday soon. So at the moment, as I'm doing this podcast, the sun is still in Pisces, but the sun is coming to the last degree of Pisces now. Now I will be starting to do horoscopes again. But I'm not sure how I'm going to do them at the moment. So I'm not sure when I'm going to start releasing them, but I will get back into doing sun sign astrology from my website, but they will be in written form, not in video form. So it's easier for me just to type up interpretations for the sun sign energy. So yeah, because I really want to get this system up and running and out there. Do you know what I mean? And I will be doing a lot more videos explaining the system as well for those that are already astrologers that, you know, want to learn the system. And like for anyone who's a novice, I will be doing classes, like I said, around the solstice. So we're coming to terms emotionally with whatever's come out at the full moon. And, you know, this square, wow, you know, it can be kind of very pressured emotionally, or, you know, maybe we're feeling the loss of certain things, or, you know, coming to terms with things is not going to be easy. So I don't know, you know, it'll be different for everybody really, because it really does depend on our own individual charts and what's going on. But it's also, you know, the aspects with Pluto in trine to the North Node and Mercury. Now, Mercury will be in Taurus at the time. Remember, Mercury will be in pre-shadow at this time, but will still be in conjunction to the North Node, although not a very close conjunction. The North Node will actually be coming, will be at 23 degrees, so we're not coming because the North Node goes anti-clockwise around the wheel. So, yeah, we've still got this T-square going on with Saturn and Vesta with nodes. So, yeah. And we've got a T-square here in the UK with the MC, Saturn and Mercury. Right, so Mercury in pre-shadow here. This is kind of like hard to kind of, we don't really think things through that well. We're kind of more in self-interest with Mercury in Taurus in pre-shadow or even in retrograde. So even though emotionally some of us will be coming to terms with things, others, because the sun in Aries can be all about the self as well. For others, it could be, you know, they just want to focus on their own stuff, you know, on things that they find they're relative to. It can be kind of an energy where we'd rather just follow the crowd and not really do any fact finding or research. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a little bit difficult, this square. Excuse me, I've got a cough. And I'm sorry, I can't edit that out. But, you know, this sextile we've got a beautiful conjunction here, and Pluto will be in sextile. So Neptune, Venus, and Jupiter will all be in conjunction in Pisces. This is a very, very creative energy, very, very beautiful. So for some that are very creative, this could be a really good time. You know, so this is not just about negative emotions or coming to terms with things. This may be about putting things into practice at the Pluto retrograde. You know, whereas at the full moon, our heads are a little bit all over the place and we can't quite get it together to be practical with anything. I feel at Pluto retrograde, there's great opportunities here coming out for, you know, I mean, Pluto in sextile to Neptune has been going on for quite some time. This is all about building new communities, but, you know, whatever we're setting up right now will be taken into the future for the long haul. You know, and this is what we've got to be careful of. We've got to make sure that we're building systems that are going to benefit our children and our children's children. This conjunction is also very, very creative. So whatever is being created right now is being created in a big, expansive way. But it's also very shifting energy with Jupiter at 5 degrees. And, you know, but Venus is at 4 degrees, which is stable. And Neptune at 2 degrees. So, you know, whatever's being created is really gonna take us to places that are very expansive and, you know, very out there. But, you know, just seeing this North Node sextile. What's that North Node sextile? Right, so, I don't know, it's hard to see. Let me see. Oh, it's a bit clumped up. Hold on, let me just look up. I have to write the aspects down because they're not always easy to see. Oh, it's Jupiter. Right, so this actual sextile is actually powerful, like I said, for spiritual practices, for prayer, for meditation, for creativity, but also for music. Neptune, Venus, and Jupiter all conjunct to me is very, very musical. And so I feel whatever's being created musically at this time is going to be really powerful. Whatever we're meditating on at this time is going to be very powerful. You know, whatever we're praying for, manifesting, it's going to be very powerful. So again, we've got to be careful what we wish for. And I say that because it's in square to Ceres, which is all about nurture and all about resources when it comes to like our food, our diet, you know, our well-being. So, you know, we have to make sure that we're looking after ourselves and that we're not like, you know, so intense on our spiritual practices that we're not looking after our physical body. It's so important we're looking after our physical health at this time. And right, the South Node, that's what I was talking about. The South Node's in trine to Venus, Jupiter, and the North Node. So this sextile here is to the North Node here in Aries, right? So whatever comes out into the collective It's going to be very beautiful, very revealing, and very kind of like expansive. So it could be like new spiritual values or a new source of meditation or something to do with the spiritual or the creative world is going to be revealed to the collective. It's going to bring in a really nice opportunity. I feel it's very healing. It could also be to do with the medical industry or the alternative industry. There's something that's going to come out that's going to be very, very beneficial to the collective. It's actually going to create a big shift or a big change in the collective energy. And, but, you know, there might be revelations that come out as well that can be emotionally pressuring, like seeing things, seeing the reality of things at the full moon and feeling the reality of things at the Pluto retrograde. So yeah, you know, this Pluto retrograde is going to be very, very powerful as well as our full moon. So, you know, definitely positive affirmations, definitely positive meditations, but also looking after our physical health, our mental health, and definitely our spiritual health. I feel this Neptune-Jupiter conjunction can cause a little bit of mental health out there as well for some, because Neptune can take us off planet. It can take us into the, you know, what's the word I would use? Unreality or unrealistic realms. Do you know what I mean? Or, you know, people might try and enforce their spirituality onto us. Do you know what I mean? And because Pluto can be very dominating as well. And especially in Sagittarius, it can be very spiritually dominating. Or again, you know, in square to the moon, maybe there's going to be reveals there, reveals about what the truth is in certain situations, whether that's personal, global. Do you know what I mean? I really don't know. We won't know until that time comes. But I just feel big revelations are going on between the full moon and the Pluto retrograde. But we may not be so quick to pick up on it. That's the thing for some. So I'm going to leave it there. It's my first podcast I've done in a month. So I hope it does make sense. And, you know, I feel that we really need to try and stay in that positive frame of mind, try and hold on to our spiritual values in a realistic way. And, you know, there may be certain people out there that start acting differently towards us, and that might have already started to occur with the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, or even the build up to the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. There may be people out there that are acting a little bit differently, and it might be time to let go. You know, there is still division going on, especially with the Saturn conjunct the goddess Vesta in Capricorn. You know, even though it's dedication to hard work, it can also be create a division as well, you know, because of the nodes, and the nodes being in the T-square aspect towards that, those two points in the chart. And yeah, so let's just watch this space, and yeah, I'll send in your peace and much love.